Hello to all my story lovers. Welcome back in Storytime channel. Today's story name is The Lost Son. This is story taken from the Unusual Tales from the Mahabharata. Let's go to the story. And written by Sudha Murty. Sometime before the Kurukshetra war, while the Pandavas were still ruling Indraprastha, a man approached Arjuna. One day, some wild animals are troubling my cattle. Arjuna, please help me, he pleaded. I will, promised Arjuna, who was always willing to help the needy. But the bow and arrows were in the Yudhishthira's room, and he was resting there with Draupadi, and Arjuna didn't want to disturb them. It was an unwritten rule amongst them that whoever disturbed the resting couple would have to go on a 1 year exile. Arjuna wondered what takes priority, the man who needs my help or the danger of 1 year exile. After some thought, Arjuna decided that it was more important to help people. So he entered the room, took his bow and arrows, and silently and chased away the wild animals that were attacking the man's cattle. When Arjuna returned, he told Yudhishthira and Draupadi what he had done, and not wanting to escape the consequences of having broken the rule, left the house. Before departing, he went to his mother, who blessed him, saying, Kalyanam astu, Kalyanam vastu, Kalyanam astu. May good things happen. Arjuna sent his self-imposed exile wandering around the neighboring kingdoms in disguise. All his life he had only known fame. So now he enjoyed the anonymity that disguise brought him. At some point, he found himself in the kingdom of Manipur. Arjuna stayed a small temple on the outskirts of the capital, from where he could observe the goings of the kingdom. To his surprise, he noticed that the most important position in the king's court were held by women. The king of Manipur, Chitrabhana, had a beautiful daughter named Chitrangada, who was a warrior herself. When the princess encountered the handsome Arjuna, she fell in love with him. Her father requested Arjuna to marry her, but he refused. I have to get back to Indraprastha, was Arjuna's honest reply. Manipur has become dear to my heart, but I cannot stay here all my life. King Chitrabhana was insistent. He said, I would still like you to marry my daughter. You are free to live whenever you want, but Chitrangada cannot go with you, and neither can the children you have together. They belong to my kingdom, their home is here. Arjuna agreed and married Chitrangada. Through her, he met her friend Ulupi, a Naga princess. Ulupi also fell in love with Arjuna and married him. However, like Chitrangada, she couldn't leave her kingdom, the underwater world, either. Soon it was time for Arjuna to leave. He journeyed to Dwarka, where he met married Subhadra. After a year, Arjuna went back to Indraprastha along with her. Legend has it that this was the reason Kunti blessed him 3 times, a way to signify his 3 marriages during the exile. Years pass. The Kurukshetra war happened, causing countless deaths and throwing even the gods in turmoil. Dharma was restored once the Pandavas won. Vrishaketu, the son of Karna, was lonely after his father's death in the war. When the Pandavas learned the truth about Karna after the war, they were horrified at what they had done. They had killed their own brother and in heinous way. So they decided to accept Vrishaketu as one of their own and bestow all their affection on him. After some time had passed, Yudhishthira decided to hold an Ashwamedha Yagna, and Arjuna was instructed to follow the horse so he could fight whoever dared to stop it. After wandering through many lands, the horse stopped at Maheshwati. The king of the land was a man named Neeladhwaja, an ardent devotee of Lord Krishna. He had a wife named Jwala and a daughter Swaha, who was married to the fire god Agni. Agni stayed at his father-in-law's home and helped protect the kingdom. Neeladhwaja's son Pravira tied the horse from the yagna on Jwala's suggestion. As was the norm, this was viewed as an act of defense. Neeladhwaja advised his son to untie the horse and accept the Yudhishthira as a sovereign king, and the Pandavas were close to Lord Krishna. However, Jwala was furious at the thought of giving in to the Pandavas and incited her husband against them. Jwala called her son-in-law ugly to her and made him promise that he would do anything she asked of him. After he assured her that he would do anything she wished, Jwala said, I want you to burn Arjuna's army and the camps. The battle is going to begin soon and we must win. Agni was shocked. Mother, he said, don't ask this of me. You know Krishna is always with Arjuna. This is an unfair demand. Jwala was adamant. Agni thus with the greatest reluctance began burning the camps and creating havoc. Arjuna was advised to use water weapon to fight back against Agni. Once discharged, the weapon would release heavy volumes of water enough to counter Agni's attack. But he knew better. He had seen Agni's hunger during the burning of the Khandwa's forest. So Arjuna prayed to Agni and beseeched him to the withdraw, saying that Draupadi, who had been born out of the fire from Yagna and was Agni's daughter, and that made Arjuna his son-in-law. Agni, after much thought, stopped his rampage. The rest of the battle played out fearlessly between the armies of Arjuna and Neeladhwaja. At the end, Arjuna was able to slay Pravira, and Neeladhwaja was also eventually seriously injured and forced to surrender. When Jwala learnt of the death of her son and the loss of her kingdom, she walked out of the capital in fury until she reached the river Ganga. Standing by the river, she thought of Bhishma, Ganga's son, and said to her, O Ganga, don't you have any concern for your dead son Bhishma? Arjuna killed him treacherously, made him lie on the bed of arrows, and yet you let him be? Look what he has done to our kingdom. Jwala's words hit home, and Ganga became upset, recalling how Arjuna had killed her son. She cursed Arjuna, saying, May you be killed by your own son. Jwala was then transformed into an arrow, and she made her way into a quiver that belonged to Babruvahana, the young king of Manipur, which was where the horse stopped next. The king Babruvahana tied up the king's horse, thus challenging the warriors accompanying the animal of the battle. Arjuna agreed. Now Babruvahana was actually the son of Arjuna and the Chitrangada, but neither of them knew about the other. By the time Babruvahana was born, Arjuna had already left Manipur. Chitrangada, along with Ulupi, had raised her son to be a skilled warrior just like his father. Meanwhile, Chitrangada learned how about Arjuna's presence in Manipur and revealed the truth of Babruvahana, who was overjoyed. He rushed to welcome his father with the cartloads of gifts and introduced himself as his son. But Arjuna mistook this gesture as an act of cowardice. I only had one son, Abhimanyu, who became a martyr in the war, said Arjuna firmly. I think you are nothing but a coward trying to escape a fight. Now that you know who I am, you are well aware that you won't be able to match my skills. So this is nothing but an act of surrender. No, father, please believe me. My mother Chitrangada told me about you. It's the first time we are meeting each other. These gifts are only a token of my love and respect you. We can fight in you want. If I am your true son, then I am sure to defeat you. By then, Chitrangada had also reached the spot, but Arjuna failed to recognize her. Not able to bear the insult to his mother, Babruvahana became livid. What kind of husband are you? He shouted. All right, if you want a flight, then let's begin. Chitrangada was horrified at the thought of father and son battling each other. Mother called Babruvana. You are a skilled warrior yourself. Come and fight by my side. Before I become your mother, I was Arjuna's wife, said Chitrangada. My loyalty lies with him. She went to Arjuna and took over his charioteer without his consent. Babruvana was at loss. He was devoted son and a good king of, yet his fate was playing terrified tricks on him. His own parents were warring against him. Ulupi, the Naga princess, came to his rescue then. She said, you are not just my student but also dear to my heart. In my opinion, the son is more important than a husband who has forgotten his own wife. What is the use of such husband? I would rather be with my son. Saying that, she took over the reins of Babruvahana chariot and the battle between father and the son began. It wasn't long before Arjuna understood that the boy was much superior to him. Babruvahana then used the special arrow in his quiver, the one that Jwala had transformed into, to wound his father. Arjuna, the great warrior, thus lay dead before them, killed by his own son. Chitrangada cried bitterly, Oh Babruvahana, why did you kill him? Your father may have been wrong, but he is still one who gave you life. Ulupi and I have become widows because of you. Ulupi, however, was quiet. She sensed that all was not lost. She carried Arjuna to her underwater world and brought him back to life by removing all the poison from his body. Once Arjuna had been revived, the memories of his old life came rushing back, and he accepted Babruvahana as his son. Thus, the curse of river Ganga came true and reached the fruition. This is the end of the story. Do you like it? Then comment it and subscribe my channel. Bye bye.